What's up? Let's do it. It's another episode of We Gotta Believe. First guest of the year. We got Wardy from WardyNYM, who is one of the premier Mets bloggers, podcasters out there right now. And as I've been saying all season long, the goal here is to build up like the Mets community, if you will, on the internet as big as possible. And now that we started to grow, We Gotta Believe and really focus on it. We were taking a look at the rest of the space, and Wardy is one of the top dogs here. So we wanted to have him on, and we could swap some following and chop it up. And I just want to put it out there that like anybody who has a show or a following, like it's not trying to be competitive here. I want like everybody to grow. I want this to be like we're all celebrating that World Series at the end together. So we're gonna have Wardy on today, and obviously there's a lot to talk about. I still am, and I'll ask you this, Wardy, to begin. Like, I'm trying to be an adult and not let every single game of a 162 game season bother me. But like, I'm having it's been a bad 24 hours now because of how awful that game was. Are you the type of guy who like stays level headed, or does this affect you as much as it affects the rest of us here?
Okay, well, first of all, I want to say thanks again for having me on. When you reached out, I was really pumped up because, I've been, a baseball fan for a very long time. But when I started getting in Mets podcasts, you guys were one of the first I ever started listening to a couple of years ago. So, and that would definitely help propel me to get to where I am today, learning from guys like yourself, another fellow great Mets fan. So again, appreciate being here. Very excited. But to answer you, it really varies on the day, right? Like I love a 162 season. I say this all the time because even after a tough loss, you love baseball because you can bounce back right the next day. Everything's so short term, but with today being an off day, it definitely stings a little bit more than it normally does. So I get the, irrationality behind it. And yeah, it really does vary for me. For right now, I'm perfectly fine. Series victories is all that matters to me. I'm pissed off about yesterday, not so much about the loss, but rather just 19 hit by pitches in 20 games. That does not be the right way. Same thing with the entire Mets organization. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But, I've definitely had moments where I'll be freaking out. And I hope the Mets have any type of significant slump. Of course, I don't wish that. But should it happen, I'm going to act at least a little irrational.
Well, what's good about this one is I think ordinarily I'd be very irrational because that they played like dog shit, man. The base running mistakes, I thought that was managed poorly, leaving Carrasco in there to just get absolutely walloped. I know there was some bad breaks there with like swinging bunts and excuse me hits, but we're giving up like 7 in an inning. I just thought the whole game all around was a mess, other than that one inning where we knocked around Mats. So ordinarily, I think I would just be picturing Guillorme getting thrown out at third to end the inning over and over and over in my mind. But instead, we have the benches clearing, quote unquote, brawl, and all the hubbub about the hit by pitches. And I hate the Cardinals fans. I always have. I think they're one of the most annoying, sanctimonious, high horse, holier than thou fan bases in the world. But this is cementing it. The way that they're acting over this shit. Like Nolan Arenado caused a brawl over a ball that was like a little bit high and a little bit inside. Just because you turn away like you're gonna get hit in the face doesn't mean that was that pitch, dude. And the fact
that's an Angel Hernandez strike, by the way. That's an Angel Hernandez strike.
100%.
That's so true, man. Like it was for and any other team, maybe it would be not as big of a deal. But as Wardy said, 19 times in 20 games, including 3 to the fucking head of 2 of our best players. And never once have we done anything more than just a little bit of jawing from the dugout. So Nolan Arenado, get the fuck out. I never had an issue with that guy. I never thought one way or another about him. But now that I know it's like this, like Jesus, the most dramatic. And then the Cardinals fans making threads on Twitter of all of the different reasons why this was justified. Like half of the thread was just balls, like not even hit by pitches. They were just like, a ball that was inside, a ball that was high. It's like, yeah, listen, our bullpen sucks. You're going to get a lot of balls that are not located. I just can't believe how much this turned into a thing when at the end of the day, the issue at hand wasn't even a hit by pitch.
Yeah, it was an absolute it's a joke. And you know what? I have Cardinals fans in my mentions. I all I said was, what was it after the game? Marmol had said like, hey, if you're going to come high and tight and, put a guy's career and life in jeopardy, I'm going to get upset. And I said, yeah, me too. And I showed Pete getting fucking drilled in the head the night before. Like, and as Buck said it perfectly, our guy got hit in the head and he just went to first base. And the fact that Arenado did what he did. But this is the thing. Arguing online is like the worst the last couple of years, especially. I think everyone's lost their fucking mind the last couple of years. And now you're doing it with baseball teams where everyone is like so tied into their team. But it's like what Bassett said. It's a fucking baseball problem. I honestly think it's the baseballs that are the issue. Like these hit by pitches are a fucking disaster, let alone the deadening of baseballs, which is a whole other debate. So I think like we could argue about this. The Cardinals were just the team that happened to be the ones that hit us the 19th time. And I think the fact JD got hurt was a thing too. Like it's like now JD might have a fucked up ankle or whatever it is. I think the Mets were like, we have to do something about this now. And again, Yohan Lopez like kind of went a little inside it. It was chess music. It wasn't even chin music. It's crazy that it was like, the reaction it was. By the way, Yohan Lopez, I think he's like cool with the team now for the rest of the year.
Oh yeah, he's set. That was like when like the popular kids like let someone else in the crew because he like got them beer or something like that. Yeah. You're with us now. You can hang with us. I did see a Cardinals fan getting very upset that the clip of Gary Cohen being like this team appreciates what he just did. He was like high-fiving everyone in the dugout, and they were like, there's no room in baseball for this. Like, this is baseball. This is what it is about. This is that sort of shit that's been going on for like 100 years. Let's preserve some of the old way. And especially, I'm actually not one of those guys, but when it's 19 times in 20 games, like, yeah, do something, right?
That's the thing. You can only scream so much before you're like, we have to take action. If they're not going to stop throwing inside, if they don't know where the ball's going, then they can't throw the ball inside at 99 miles an hour. That's the point. And it's like, if you think you have the control to not hit us and you're going to come inside, great. If you can't and you continue to hit us, we're going to intentionally hit your guys until you have to think twice about coming inside. Throw it over the middle. There you go. You suck.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I want to add to this too quick because what really pissed me off wasn't just Arenado's reaction when, again, you're right, he wasn't even hit. So the fact that you just got him up high and in and he's freaking out the way he is to throw around Nito just to be on the outskirts of the scrum too. I'm like, you're a pussy. Come on, let's be honest here. But the bigger thing too is that let's not forget Mats had a pitch that literally almost drilled Nimmo right in the beginning of the game, but we're going to act like that didn't happen. Obviously, Mats, we know that he's erratic. That was not intentional, but like, seriously, the fact that the Cardinals had the audacity to act that they were the ones being victimized is the most hilarious thing about this entire thing.
And I don't think we were like the victims either. I think that we're a victim of circumstance in the sense of like, listen, it's not the Cardinals' fault that the first 5 series there was 17 hit by pitch, whatever. Like it's like you're paying for the sins of the previous teams. But if you watch almost all of these hit by pitches, Mets and Cardinals, it's what Clem was saying. It's like they're always, it's like on an 0-2 count or in a bases loaded situation, or it's just either guys who I think are not, very talented, who are wild at times, or a ball issue where, only when it got to a fever pitch for the Mets was there anything ever intentional. So I don't, it's like, I don't think the Mets are victims either. I think they have bad luck. I think there's a reason why the Mets haven't been had an overreaction and charged them out, because I think they know that. But the fact that the Cardinals and the Cardinals fans can't seem to understand that, it's the same old Cardinals fans. Like, they can do no wrong. They're perfect. Their fan base is perfect. Their team is perfect, and everybody else is the problem. Get the fuck out of here. You're the ones who started the fucking fight.
I also want to thank Nolan Arenado for the series win, because if you didn't make that error Monday night,
thank you,
they would have won the series. So thank you, Nolan, for that. We'll remember
everybody
that.
in the ballpark knew he was getting thrown out, including himself too. So it was premeditated walking up there. He's like, if they come high and in, I'm going to cause a stir. Like, you jumping out of the bullpen though, got to give him credit. He's like WWE cool. Entrance.
Yeah, that was cool. That was straight, like scaling a fence to get in a street fight. But I always get a kick out of the bullpen running in. By the time they get there, everything is just pushing and shoving. But I don't. If you were in the bullpen, would you run out, or would you just kick it back there and be like, let me know what happens?
I was already running.
I would be.
I would run out.
I'm assuming I'm my size in this scenario, and I'm just kind of the closer, and I'm just walking with a mean look on my face. And it's like, if you guys are still here by the time this is also the dad of me coming out. If you guys are still fighting by the time I get there, you're gonna wish you never started. So.
I would love to have Clem like the nicest guy in the world, but if he makes it to the pitcher's mound and we're still going, he's cracking skulls. Let's go.
What about our guy Bjornsson? Did we get Bjornsson? I didn't get to see him running the mound. That's the guy I want to see there. Our bullpen coach is the guy that I want to see throwing bodies.
I'm sorry. Remember? I just want to say too real quick. Can we just imagine if Jared Hughes was
Oh my
the
God.
Mad Dog.
Jared Hughes. I forgot about Jared Hughes.
We lost Wardy for a second there, but if we had Mad Dog Hughes still coming, holy shit. See those crazy eyes. I didn't catch. I was in the car when it happened. Was Scherzer in the mix with, crazy eyes screaming and yelling?
He was beforehand. That was
yeah. Do you remember when Manny got like the pitch, the Arenado pitch reminded me of when Manny got that pitch. I think it was against the Yankees, and it was like almost a strike two, and that caused was that the Zimmer thing that caused the whole Zimmer thing?
I think it was. I think that was just like a high and sort of inside ball, but that also was the point. Like if the Cardinals and Mets had some long history of fighting and hatred, it would be different. But it's just like that went from 0 to 100 so fucking quickly, all because of really one guy. It's like, calm the fuck down, Nancy.
And we're going to have to address, so the two things we addressed. One, we already addressed it. Our guy Nito kind of got shoved to the side, which he's like a slight catcher, so I'll give him that much. And Arenado's a big motherfucker.
Arenado's a big boy. He's a little bitch about this, but I'm not trying to bug with him, man.
Exactly. And then the other one was the whole thing about Pete Alonso getting thrown to the ground by Stubby Clapp. A fucking guy named Stubby Clapp throwing Pete to the ground, and then Pete saying, I'm a big guy, I can put someone in the hospital. So there's a lot to digest there. I love Pete. That's just Pete being Pete. We saw him in the thing. It's just like his meatball response right there.
Dude,
the guy survived a car accident, and 2 hits in the head. He's not like, and I saw a lot of Cardinals fans, and I think even Yankees fans were chirping Pete Alonso. If you're in a fight and someone grabs you from behind you don't know, you're going to go down. And anyone who thinks that's not the case, I will have Za trail you around the office when you least expect it. Za will take your ass down, man.
Yeah, you're definitely right about that.
Low center of gravity. I'm not fucking with Za, man. That guy will take me out, no problem. Yeah. I just can't. The thing about Pete, and I hate to say it because I love him, but every time he talks some shit or tries to be funny or whatever, it's always like, I could put some guys in the hospital too. It's like, all right, man. You could. I know you're a big fucking guy. You're the polar bear. Like, of course you could. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying it always kind of comes across as like a little. I like him better. He's one of the few athletes I like better when he just does like the canned responses and just let your bat do the talking. What I do like about him is like the finger thing and the LFGM and like those moments. It's when he is really like talking and giving full answers that I'm like, all right, shut up.
You're like, I like him when he doesn't show his personality.
Yeah, you know what he is? He's a hot chick. He's like a hot chick that you're like, I love you. I love your body. I love what it does, but just, keep talking to a minimum, I just got a DM from Wardy. He says he froze. He said, give me a second. So he should be coming back in. We'll hear a little more from him on his whole show and like what kind of Mets fan he is. But I said we were playing with house money. And in the sense of wins and losses, we were like, I really wanted that sweep. And I after losing, I realized how much in my heart I fully expected to win that game. Mm-hmm. I really thought, like, especially once we tagged Mats, I was like,
that's how different this team is. How you were expecting a sweep in St. Louis of all places. Right?
I really did. And then when we put up those runs, I was like, all right, here it is. Like, we're good to go. And then to have like a 6, 7, 8 run inning, whatever the fuck that was just like, it was weird because it was, like I said, swinging bunts and check swing hits and shit. So it's not like he was getting like tattooed, but he was also like, it was a lot of hard hit balls too. And I know you can't like burn the bullpen with Philly coming this weekend, but I was also recording KC Radio while I was watching. So I don't have a full feel for it, but I remember looking up being like, are we just going to let Carrasco give up like 1,000 runs here? Are we not going to pull him?
So there's also you can blame Frank for yesterday's loss because yesterday was my first time watching a Mets loss in the gambling cave with Frank, and it's a different experience. So he had this chewing thing that he chews or something for stress, I guess. He lost it. Then he takes out the backup one, and the backup one he's chewing. That's when they had the 7-run fourth, whatever the fuck it was. So he throws that into the corner. He's like, I can't find my fucking chewing thing.
What is it? What is it that he's?
I have no idea what it is, but it's something he chews on. So he's searching all over, saying, "Oh, it's not in my pocket. It's not on his desk. He couldn't find it." And then, like an inning or two later, he just reaches into his pocket. It's like, "Oh, it's been here the whole time. I found it too late."
Bro.
So I'm blaming yesterday's loss on Frank for that.
There we go.
Have a chew toy like
Yes.
a fucking dog?
Yes.
Do I have to go to PetSmart and get him like those ropes?
No,
Like,
it's just that
chew toys.
it's just that certain shoe toy that Frank has that just had all the luck, and he lost it for 1 or 2 innings yesterday. It screwed us.
I'm gonna put peanut butter in a Kong and let him lick that all game if that's what it takes to keep him calm. You kidding me? I thought he usually chews his shirt or his hat.
He usually does, but I guess it's like a keyboard cleaner he chews or something. We put the clip up on
Keyboard
Viva
cleaner.
yesterday.
I mean, it's smart though. It's smart. Instead of chewing the glasses or your hat, your clothes, you chew a chew toy or something. That's fine. Like
Yeah.
we have to get one with good luck for Frank here. All right, so this is fine, boys. Frank will take the L for yesterday's loss.
Yes.
That much is.
I will hang the loss on Frank. I will not hang the loss on The Rock.
Yeah.
Whoever tweeted that out.
The
You can't
fact
go
that,
against the people's champ.
that was brutal that we got The Rock to like interact, use the hashtag, say LFGM, and then all of that fell apart right away. But yeah, if you missed it on Twitter, while we were doing Kyle's Miles, which by the way, what was it? 13.65 or
14.
14.65 miles. The dude, like, we need to start coordinating Kyle's Miles with some sort of bet of like,
Yeah.
an over under of game time or something, because every time that dude is on the treadmill, he's going for hours and innings and miles. But The Rock tweeted at Kyle saying like, happy to help, because Kyle was reciting the lyrics of his song. And I mean, that's big. Like when you get a Rock reply, that's like as big as it gets.
I don't even have 4,000 followers. I'm like, this
Yeah.
dude, I actually had to triple check. I'm like, someone's just trolling me, pretending to be The Rock. Randomly 16 million followers, because he's got a longtime writer who's a huge Mets fan. So he called him out and said, what the fuck are you doing for the team?
Love it. We got to get that guy on too. If anybody close to The Rock like that who's a Mets fan, like let's chop it up. You can tell stories and we'll just chat it up about the Mets. But like, it was almost like immediately, like we got The Rock comment, and then look at that, man, a direct, like he used the hashtag, said LGM, like the fact that The Rock doesn't give a fuck about baseball, right? Baseball is too much of like a nerd sport for him. He just cares about like, football and contact sports and shit. So if he's got this writer who's a Mets fan and he's using the hashtag, it's safe to say The Rock is a Mets fan.
Yeah.
He's a Mets fan in my mind. He's a We Gotta Believe fan.
What?
He's a We Gotta Believe fan.
That's right. That's what he is. He's a fan of this podcast right here. So an open invite to Dwayne if he'd like to come on and we can talk about his song and walk for the World Series. There he is. Wardy's back.
What the fuck happened?
Oh, no.
You can't even believe. It's crazy when the Barstool office has better internet than the people outside the Barstool office. Wardy got.
I'm plugged in. I'm hardwired today, so it's not my fault. Do you think, Nick, could it be that there's like too many people in the Zoom, or is this just no? Okay. All right. Well, Wardy's going to keep working on it. At least he flows with a good smile. He's looking, making it proud.
The greatest scenario in the world would be The Rock coming to Barstool HQ, and they're like, "Oh, hey, Dwayne, hey, are you here for to see Dave? Are you here to do part of my take? You do KFC Radio? No, I'm here to do the Mets podcast." What a
we would throw him in a conference room and make him Zoom around the office with us. Don't even do it in person. A little ragtag operation that's going to take over Mets Twitter. Which, by the way, we are actively policing our community on Twitter. So right now, the We Gotta Believe Mets community is like the largest baseball community on all of Twitter. But because it's grown that big, a couple reasons. It's grown that big. Elon has yet to clean up Twitter. And 3, because we have those Riley Reid shirts and we talk about that meme, the porn bots flooded into our community. And I know a lot of people are complaining that we need to moderate it more. Like, we're on the case, all right? Kyle, Meek, and Clem are all booting any porn bots. As soon as they pop up, we delete them. We've been moderating this community for like 3 weeks. Give it a minute. fucking relax. And when Elon comes in, when our Lord and leader Elon takes over and purges the bots, we won't have to worry about this anymore. So the community is good though, because it's like there are times where I want to tweet about like every single pitch, and I want to tweet dumb observations that 99% of my followers don't know what's going on because they're not watching the New York Mets along with me on a fucking Wednesday afternoon. So you can just put all those tweets into the Mets community and interact with everybody there. So it's actually a good like a good tool to live tweet games. Kyle, did we get did anybody do we get the closest prediction to your miles?
No.
Did anybody? Okay. If you didn't hear it yesterday, if you did put in a prediction for how many miles Kyle would walk, send me the screenshot. And if you were closest to 14.65, you can get some free merch. We also got to do a giveaway because we hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. So every 1,000, we're going to give away a free t-shirt. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube to We Gotta Believe. All you got to do is use your Gmail to log in and click subscribe. Trying to get up there and get those Wardy numbers. Wardy is on there. He said he started because of us, Clem. So he's done a lot of great work. He got 15,000 subscribers himself, starting right around when Cohen bought the team and when we first popped up doing Gotta Believe. So shout out to him for the pupil became the teacher or whatever. So definitely subscribe to him and follow along with his stuff as well. He does pregame and postgame. A little more of a technical analyst, if you will. I don't know if he's making porn shirts and cookies and whatever, but I did tell him about the cookie master, the cookie meter. So I asked him to have a cookie ready. So hopefully he can get back in. He said he froze again. I don't know if the internet's the internet. We can't do anything about it. But you want to go around the horn here and do cookies for the day?
Cookie Carrasco was a Quest cookie. One of those fucking, and your mouth is all dry and it has like the fucking cotton mouth and it doesn't taste very good. And I'm very sad that I ate it and this is what I have to eat. So Cookie, bounce the fuck back because Quest cookies stink.
We got Wardy back.
We got Wardy back.
Am I back?
Yeah, we're back.
Okay, we'll see how long this lasts. Again,
All right.
I apologize, guys.
I was just describing like how you started and you're up to like 15,000 subscribers and all that. So tell the people a little bit about your operation, and then we can get into the cookie meter. Like, how did you start? You know, how old you are? What's your background as a Mets fan? All that stuff.
Sure. Before I do, did you guys hear me talk about Jared Hughes at all or no?
We at the last second we heard you say Jared
Hughes. Okay, I was gonna say imagine Hughes running out of the bullpen like he did with Philly against. I was actually at that game in Philly when that happened. Imagine him during that brawl. That would have been nuts. But yeah, quickly on my background. I mean, I grew up a diehard Mets fan, originally from Long Island. My dad's from Queens, but I've lived in Pennsylvania like the majority of my life, and that's where I'm currently residing. And I didn't grow up like a diehard baseball fan. Like I was a diehard with football and hockey. Baseball really actually didn't kind of, blossom for me until actually coincidentally enough, the 2015 season, because my cousin grew up a diehard baseball fan. Like halfway through, he's like, Tyler, you should watch this series against the Nationals. I'm like, why? He's like, if the Mets win it, they're leading the division for the first time in a while. I'm like, okay. Then of course, Cespedes, Flores, everything that happened. It was like picture perfect for like my official debut. Like I always was a Mets fan, but I didn't follow them on a day-to-day basis until 2015. So I'm a lot newer than you guys. So I don't have nearly as much PTSD to the same level, but
it's good to have though.
It is good to have.
Yeah,
it absolutely is.
There's a lot of times I've stopped doing it, but there are times in the past where I was arguing with Mets fans and they're like, you're being so negative. Why don't you, why do you say all these things? And I realize I'm talking to like 18-year-old kid or someone who hadn't watched all these years. And I'm like, oh, it makes sense that we're coming from different angles. So it's actually good to have someone who's not completely battered and beaten down. How old are you?
I'm 21.
Oh, okay. So you're a pup. All right. So
I'm a pup.
Still a kid in 2015 too. All right. So yeah, that's, I mean, when I'm 37, Clem, you're almost what? You're the big 4-0 yet?
Damn, no, closing in on it.
And close. Yeah. So we've seen, unfortunately, a lot more, but like if it's good because we are like letting go of that, the Wilpons years, the dark years, and we are now into the Cohen era. So really for you, a couple years without Cohen, but for the most part, your entire life as a Mets fan is going to be under the Cohen rule, which is a beautiful fucking thing, Wardy. You don't take that for granted.
I am beyond grateful for that. Yeah, no, I did not. I had no interest in starting a YouTube channel or covering the Mets in any form until they got new owners. Like I told myself that. Like I wanted to start doing stuff for them at a very young age, but I was like, I'm not even going to bother wasting my breath on this when I know that this is going to be this continuous cycle with the Wilpons. So once Cohen came in, I was like, right away, I'm like, finally, I can kind of start to share my opinions because, you know, especially growing up in Pennsylvania, I'm closer to Philly than I am you know, going to Citi Field. So I didn't grow up around Mets fans. Like it just kind of me, myself, and I, other than my immediate family. And because of that reason, that is really what kind of prompted me to want to go on the internet and start talking about it. I'm never loved the idea of writing. I can do it without a prompt, but I've always liked, you know, just voicing my opinion and, you know, making content and stuff like that. So that is really what started up with WardyNYM. You know, my last name's Ward, so I figured Wardy just for fun, and then the Mets, obviously. And yeah, I've only been doing it for a year and a half now, so I'm very grateful to see how much growth.
Dude, that's great. I mean,
how much has happened in a very short period of time.
To put up like 15,000 subscribers, you know, on your own one-man operation sort of thing. Was there like a tipping point for you? Did you was there like a player or someone who like tweeted it, or you know, or is it just like grassroots, slowly growing like day by day?
I think it's a mix because thankfully, you know, reaching out with you guys, for example, you know, I've interacted with so many people in the community in such a short period of time, which really has helped me get more exposure, obviously, and just reach more people, you know, and not just the baseball space, but especially the Mets. And, you know, I really just wanted to make sure that when I started covering them and doing everything, that I really wanted to execute on, you know, the high, which was Steve Cohen coming in and everything that would transpire after, because naturally there's all this excitement. I'm feeling excited because I'm just a fan. I just get to share my opinions like you guys. And then naturally other fans are going to come along for the ride. So I was just pumping out content consistently, doing all that stuff to this day. You know, I would say the first person that I interacted with in the baseball space that is prominent, that definitely helped, was I slid in Giraffe Neck Mark's DMs, like right when I was about to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I asked him if I could do an interview with him, and now we're really close friends. So, you know, it's like stuff like that, just building those connections and getting to where I am now. But yeah, there isn't a day that I don't wake up and I'm just smiling because, you know, I'm very grateful. I just get to do this as my daily thing. I actually had to sit down with my parents like the beginning of last year, right in the beginning of last year, after I was a month in the channel. I'm like, you know, I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to do this full time, and I promise you it's going to be worthwhile. You know, here we are.
That's awesome, man. That, like, I get so many, whether it's the Mets or just like general blogging for Barstool, whatever it may be. Like, everyone asks me, how do you do it? And like, I mean, that is it. That is the blueprint. If you're watching this and you want to do content for a team or whatever it may be, it's just about doing it, staying consistent, networking, and like cross-pollinating, whatever you want to call it. That's how you do it. There's no other trick to it. And like, there are just going to be days where like you don't want to do it, or you don't think many people are listening or watching or whatever, and you just still got to churn it out. So that this is paying the bills right now, and you think it's going to be like full-time gig for the future?
Yeah, paying the bills for myself. I can't afford, you know, like my own house or anything like that yet. But yeah, I mean, the fact that I'm like in the position that I am right now, I never would have thought that a couple of years ago. So yeah, thankfully everything's going great right now. I know it's going to be an amazing year, not just for you guys, not just for me, but for everyone in the community. And again, I'm just grateful because Steve Cohen doesn't just impact the team, he impacts all of his fans. Like, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in this position I am right now. So like, trust me, I have his poster not there. I have all of them like above right now, all the newspapers. I kiss them every night before bed.
we are part of the congregation of the Church of Cohentology. Yeah, we gotta believe. I thank him every day too. So and I know it sounds corny when we talk about like the Mets community and everyone being happy together, but for when I've been watching it be so bad for so long, and we've been little brother for so long, and we get beaten down by the Yankees, and the Braves go win the World Series, all that kind of shit. It is something that like we've all been in it together, and we've been in it together for the lows. I want to make sure that it's like, if and when we finally get to the promised land, that we all, everybody knows each other, everyone's celebrating together, and everyone's eating cake and punch at the parade. So, all right. So give me, we just started the cookie meter. I kind of explained to you how we do. We always give Carrasco a cookie rating. Now, up until this point, we've been talking about, melty, gooey chocolate chip cookies and our favorite brands and our favorite bakeries, because it's been unbelievable. Yesterday, we saw a little bit of the old Carrasco first inning struggles, and then, of course, the implosion. What cookie would you give Carrasco yesterday?
it was funny when you said this to me because I went and I grabbed because I have them on my house. They're called Enjoy Life, and these are like these healthy ass chocolate chip cookies.
Oh no!
And they are exactly what Cookie was yesterday. Unfortunately,
you might win. You might win.
Yeah, no, these are not fun. Not a sponsor. If you couldn't tell already. But
Sorry, Enjoy Life. We just torpedoed your whole company, but holy shit, those have got to be the worst cookies imaginable.
I mean, they're not the. And I will give the benefit of the doubt a little bit of Cookie yesterday. It was bad luck between Nito, obviously, the little dribbler by O'Neal. I think that unfortunately there was no play on, and it was just a bad game. And I know he's throwing a lot of meatballs right down the dick, but still. Cookie, yeah, I got to give him the Enjoy Life brand. That's how I would rate him from yesterday.
Yeah, there's no, yes, there's bad luck, but there's no sugarcoating that one. That was about as bad an outing as you have. Meek, what do you got for Cookie?
A very burnt oatmeal raisin.
Ooh, like grandma's oatmeal raisin when she's gotten too old and she can't make them anymore, and they're just garbage.
Like that.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than like crunchy cookies are okay when they're supposed to be crunchy. If it's supposed to be soft and you're getting crunchy, that means it's just a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
Kyle, what do you got?
Fig Newton. Because it's like,
wait a minute. No.
Hold on. Because it's if you ask for a cookie, it's never you're asking for a Fig Newton. It's palatable.
Well, it's not a cookie. It's a cake.
It's a cookie. Whoa.
That's their tagline. It's not a cookie. It's a cake.
No. All right. I gotta change that.
I know that's Fig Newton. I know, Clem, you have my back here, right? Fig Newtons are fire.
I fucking love Fig Newtons. However,
Raspberry Newton's better.
There is a video that shows you how figs are made.
Yeah,
and it will ruin Fig Newtons.
It will absolutely ruin you. Do not. It's like watching. It's like watching those internet shock videos, like Tub Girl and shit like that.
For someone whose parents had a fig tree at their house, I mean, yes, I can confirm.
That is one of those things you do not want to see how the sausage is made on that one. I think Fig Newtons are crazy. I lost them again. I think Fig Newtons are crazy underrated. I do get that, like, if you're talking like,
if I say I want a cookie and you come with Fig Newtons, I'm gonna be like, get the fuck out of here.
I do understand that.
Because that's what it is. I'm going into that game going, all right, we're gonna get cookie, and then I get a Fig Newton. I'm like,
that's fair.
Thanks.
That I can understand. I'm gonna go with those like airline cookies that they pass out on the plane when it's just like.
Hold on.
You like those?
Biscoff?
Those when you're on the plane and it's like you'll take it because you have to, but it's certainly if you're trapped on the plane.
I save those. I get extra ones to bring home. They're so good.
Oh my god,
that is some poor people shit. You bring those home with you?
Cookie. That is the perfect cookie to dunk in a cup of coffee.
What are you, 1,000 years old? You drink your Biscoff in your coffee and tea?
Yes.
It's not necessarily because I do know people like the Biscoff. It's more the setting for me. When you're like on the airplane, your ears are popping, you're stuck next to someone, and I'd much rather have a Oreo or a insomnia, whatever, and I've got this like shitty, probably expired old. Oh, speaking of expired, real quick side note, Clem, did you see? It's on today's KFC radio, so you probably didn't see it yet. Coach Doug's was gracious enough to bring some Stu Leonard's chocolate milk to the office.
And Mr. Bunny milk?
Yes. And so he's like, I just put it in the freezer. It's icy cold. I'm like, oh, I love Stu Leonard's chocolate milk. Let's do it. And then he's like, yeah, I got it for $2 because it's expired. I was like, he goes, yeah, usually it's $6, but I can get it for $2 because it's almost expired. And I was like, bro, what? Couldn't you just get some fucking regular, not expired chocolate milk?
Nothing better.
Glasses though.
Nothing is, better to drink right before it's expired than milk of all things.
That's worse than the Fig Newton story Kyle has. Like
the way he did it, it was like he set it up, and I was like, "Oh, I love it," because I think that's like the best chocolate milk in the game. In the glass bottle, it's nice and thick.
Yep.
And then he's like, that's usually $6, and I was like, "Yeah, I know, probably because of the bottle, and it's so good." And he's like, "Got it for $2." And I was like, "Well, there's a reason why you got it for $2. It's because it's spoiled milk, bro."
God damn it, Doug's. Like, don't like Stu Leonard's has a very high rating in our office. Even I was at Chicago and Eddie's like, oh man, Clem, I can't wait to go out to New York. I was thinking maybe me, you, and Large go to Stu's. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this is gonna be a great time. If Doug's just giving out expired milk to people, it's gonna kind of sour them.
Stu Leonard's gonna cease and desist on Doug's here, man.
Christ. Well, that's fucking Cookie Carrasco. We were dunking it in expired milk yesterday.
That is, I was gonna say. So I had Biscoff in expired chocolate milk is what my rating for Cookie is.
I'm co-signing Kyle here too. I didn't like the Fig Newton slander from Kyle, but I also fuck with Biscoffs big time. And I think there was I think Delta stopped serving them at some point during the pandemic. And I might have written a blog. I was like, fuck that. Don't you dare get rid of the Biscoffs. However, if there's like a generic airplane cookie,
I wasn't even really thinking of the Biscoff. I've had ones that are like it's like 3 or 4 like. It's almost like a rice cake chocolate chip cookie that's in a little bag, and it was just like basically any sort of crappy airline snack is where I feel like Cookie was yesterday. It was he wasn't. I got a little too high on cookies. All right, I ate like an entire sleeve of Cookie Carrasco. I had some 3 cheat cookies to start the season, and I was proclaiming he's not going to dip below a double stuffed Oreo. You know, there's bound to be another moment where Cookie slipped back and regressed a little bit, and as is the team. I like I was saying to start the show, like I got to a point where I expected them to win like every night, especially in a game where we put up 4 in the second inning, and it's like, all right, we're doing our thing again, we're gonna win this game. That's how high the confidence is getting. Got to remind myself that you're gonna lose dozens and dozens of times in a baseball season, so let's not. And the Cardinals are a good team, so take 2 out of 3. Regroup and get ready for Philly, because that's really the big series that matters the most anyway. So,
speaking of which, you guys ready for Barstool at the ballpark on Saturday?
Yo, buddy. Wardy, I would like to. Oh, you're in Pennsylvania, right? Shit. So,
I mean, I still go to games. I definitely would love to come, but I'm going to be actually away this weekend.
Okay,
so,
we do them once a month though. So next one in May, if you'd like to come, tickets on us. You can come by.
Awesome.
Sold out.
Appreciate that.
400 of us will be in Cohen's Corner up in section 330 something. So we've got
the Thomas 2 section. People keep asking what that is. I don't know what the fuck that means. I thought it was honestly like some like old general manager from the 70s. It's like a rum. Some fucking like Pirates room or something like that.
So like somebody sponsored it? All right. Yeah, shout out to Thomas too. But this is going to be the Coors Light Cohen's Corner. And I really want to try to, we're only there once a month, so it's probably not frequent enough. But the way that center field is like the 7-line section, I would love to have Cohen's Corner be, section 339 or whatever it is. So we're going to have the Steve Cohen Fatheads. Anybody, you want to bring a sign, you want to wear T-shirts, homemade shirts and stuff, all that shit. Dude, yes, like let's fucking go. I want it to be loud and rowdy. Make your beer snakes, your cup snakes, get hammered, be responsible, don't be an asshole, don't be a jerk, but enjoy yourself and let's have a party. I'm sure it's going to get rowdy with Philly. I'm bringing a couple scumbag Philly fans with me, so unfortunately I'm bringing, Fox in the hen house with a couple of dumb drunk Philly fans, but it should be a good time. Kate Barstool is going to be there representing the Philly scum, but
she tweeted out the Riley Reid meme announcing she was going. She said, "Oh shit, you're going to make me, get Raz for being a Phillies fan." I'm like, "You're the fucking best, Kate."
She is the best.
She would fit in perfectly with our brood of scumbag fans, but the Phillies fans are just as big as scumbags. So she
absolutely everybody that's what you got to learn. Everybody, when you go to a baseball game, emotions are high, people are drinking, and some people can control themselves and some people can't. Now it tends to be in the Bronx that people really can't control themselves. I don't know. That's sorry guys. So this weekend is the first one. I want to come in hot. I want to give a good home field advantage. So Cohen's Corner, I want it to be rocking, all 400 of us. And then if you missed out this time, you can check out any of the links on our social media has the landing page for Barstool the Ballpark, and you can come through next month.
I think Giraffe Neck Mark said he was going to be this weekend. He's coming back, so hopefully we'll see him on Saturday.
Awesome.
We missed him on opening day, so hopefully we'll see him there too at the game.
So what else we got? I think we had a Marry Fuck Kill on the schedule here.
Do we want to do a Marry Fuck Kill today?
Well, I kind of like all our players. I don't like anybody.
How about let's do like a Marry Fuck Kill of things that we don't like right now. We'll do like Yankee fans, Cardinals fans, Phillies
fans. Oh Jesus.
Oh,
Let's go with
no.
that. That's tough. That's tough. Wait a minute. That's fucking tough. Because right off the bat, my initial gut, it's not my final answer, but thinking through right now, I think I'm going to like marry the Phillies fans.
I want to know what Wardy thinks down there in Philly because you're on a daily basis.
No,
I grew
fucking
up,
kill
I grew
those
up in the Bronx.
bastards. No, I'm kidding.
You're behind enemy lines, dude. What do you got?
no, they're on the kill list. Like, it's not even close. Like, for me, I'm sorry, and I have a lot of close friends that are Philly fans. Obviously, I just, I can't. I mean, I've been to so many games. I try to go to a lot of games. I'm actually going to one of the games in Philly, May 8th. And yeah, I mean, there's something else. Like, I'm so used to them. You expect the absolute worst. And I love it though when the Mets do win, because they might be talking shit, but it's like, you just have to look at them for a minute and then they're kind of like, oh shit, they don't really have much else to say. But yeah, no, they'll probably be kill for me. Mary's, I would probably say Cardinals only because of the fact that I don't have the background the way that you guys do with Cardinals fans. You know what I mean? But, and then, wait, it was,
then you're fucking the Yankee fan.
This is incredibly.
This is tough.
I
would say like what your life is now is what my life has always been. Like, I've been a Mets fan in the Bronx, so I'm behind enemy lines and dealing with them at all times. So it's like you gotta kill what ruins your everyday life the most. That what bothers you like on a day-to-day basis. That's why when I saw it again this weekend, I see it every day. Yankee fans or outside fans being like, why do you care about the Yankees? They're not even in your division. They're not even in your league. Well, because I see them every fucking day. I walk in and I see Tommy and Hubs crying, and I see Marty being a fucking moron. It's like, oh, I hate these people. So I got to kill them. But
I got to kill them.
But then I think about, like, at the same time, the Yankees and the Phillies fans, I kind of can understand. Like I said, we're all kind of scumbags. We're all just like morons watching baseball, drinking beers. Whereas the Cardinals fans, I don't even think I could hang out with you. I can watch a game with a Yankee fan and we're going to hate each other and bust balls, but at least like we're still at the bar doing our thing. I feel like Cardinals fans are going to be like, well, we like watch the game in the library and like we respect the unwritten rules of baseball. Just So that is a murderer's row of people I don't want to be around, though.
You know what Cardinals fans probably do at a baseball game? They probably take they give you those little concession boxes. They probably get another one and they fucking shell their peanuts in the box. So, I would never do such a thing.
Yeah. That's why I love that Twitter account, like Best Fans in Baseball or STL fans, whatever it is, that's always pointing out when Cardinals fans aren't great. Because they think so highly of themselves. It's like, that this is just like, we're just fans of a sport. We're not like changing the world out here. Jesus Christ. What do you got, Clem?
I mean, I think it's really tough because you have to think with the Yankees fans, they're like my brothers during football season. And then the Phillies fans.
That's why you make no sense, man.
But then I also say the Phillies fans are my enemies all year round. They're like the Yankee fan that hates Boston, but then the Jets fan that hates the Patriots. So it's like I kind of have a legitimate thing towards the Phillies fans. That being said, fuck the Yankees, still the Yankees fans. Because again, I see them every single day. I mean, like, fuck the Phillies fans, I guess. And marry the fucking Cardinals fans that will only have sex once a year. It'll be missionary. It'll suck. Nobody's happy. That's the perfect fucking marriage right there. So shout out the Cardinals fans, you cocksuckers.
How old are you for 2006, Kyle?
16.
And what about you, Meek?
I was like 9. I was in 4th grade.
Yeah, and Wardy, you were even younger than that?
6.
Yeah. So like, if you remember Scott Spezio and Yachty,
old enough to cry for Game 7. That's enough.
I was at that game.
Yeah.
I was at that game. You've never been in a place that's so electric, shaking, and then drop the pin, and it's complete silence, and everyone just walked out, not even talking to each other.
Bro,
just,
I don't
stood up in unison and just went out. Yeah,
I don't think I knew that about you. That's like you did like a tour of duty in my mind. It's like you're a veteran of war. What was it like in the stadium, the inning after Endy's catch, where they load the bases and like had one out, and I was like, they're gonna score here. They're gonna like ride the energy, and then I think
the second
Balance
Endy
came
made
back
that catch, it was just a foregone conclusion to everyone in the ballpark. Even though we were down, we were like, we're winning this
We're gonna
ball
win this
game.
game.
Like that's it. Like there's
Yeah.
no way you're watching that and you're not gonna win. And it was just nobody knew who Adam Wainwright was at the time. Like he was just like this up and coming guy, and you're like, okay, here we go. And then he throws the curveball, and it was literally like everyone just stood up and walked out. Dead shock silence. Yeah,
bro. That inning too. I think like Cliff Floyd worked a walk before Beltran got up, and it was like a real rally in place. You had your guy, and Beltran got such a bad rap. We know that, and I think if people had just known what Wainwright was going to be, it's a whole totally different story. But we didn't realize what we were watching was a showdown of like one of the best hitters and one of the best pitchers in baseball. And this time, the pitcher won that battle.
I'll never forget after that game too. I just like because that season was so much fun, and I wish the younger guys could have experienced that season. But I'm so happy you didn't have to like have that like just rip from you. And then 07, 08, where you just were chasing that feeling again. I just went to the bathroom, looked myself in the mirror, said "fuck," and just went to bed. I've never done that in my life. I don't even know. Like it just like sucked my soul out of my body. There's no other way to explain it. So that's like fuck the Cardinals. I'm killing the Cardinals.
Kill the Cardinals.
How
was 2015 for you, Wardy? So you're what, 16? You said?
Yeah. 15, 16. It was electric. I mean, for like your first time actually focusing on MLB on a day-to-day basis, you like I jumped on like bandwagon without even meaning to, because I had no clue what was in store.
Because nobody knew.
It was right before everything started, like literally right before. So it was electric. I loved every second. I was a little heartbroken though, just because that was then like multiple years.
Oh no!
Your sports team
He was
I got into. They lost the championship or just fell short like my first year. Like, for example, I'm a Steelers fan. I know it's weird. It's because my dad grew up a Steelers fan. When you grew up in the 70s and the Giants and the Jets aren't doing shit, it's the Cowboys or the Steelers, and I picked the Steelers. Thank God for that, at least, over the Cowboys. But the point is that the Steelers, when I first really got into them, that is when they lost to the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl a decade ago. Then with the New York Rangers, my first year watching them every single game, they lost in the conference finals in overtime to the Devils. Then the Mets, same exact thing. They lose. So, like, I'm like a jinx at the same time. But it was such a wild ride. I enjoyed it. I definitely did.
That's a strange. I don't know many people who have that path of like right away you get a taste of the good stuff, but not all the way there. But yeah, that 15 season. So the little like rally cry that we've had so far this year that I think everybody has kind of said to someone in their life is that this team is different. And I'm getting so many people being like, you guys do this every April. And first of all, no, we don't. Okay, because literally the team doesn't. Statistically, the team has never won their first 5-6 series, whatever it was. Their team has never been leading the league in runs scored and runs allowed this deep into the season. They were hitting like through the roof with runners in scoring position, all that shit. So like literally the team itself is different. So fuck off with that. And second of all, I think anytime that the Mets fans have been like riding high in April, it's more of like, let's enjoy this while we can, because we know that either A, we're the Mets and shit's going to go wrong for us, or B, we know that the team is not really constructed all that well. Like in 2018, when we were 11-1, I remember Dallas Braden and Jared and all the baseball guys telling me, like, just enjoy it. Just enjoy the ride right now. They're the best team in baseball. Like, who cares where they end up? And I was on the radio going, I'm not going to do this to myself. Not going to get my hopes up and turn my heart over to them, because I know that this team is not really constructed well enough to carry this on. So anytime you've seen Mets fans getting high in April, it's either you can say either don't know what they're talking about, they're just like casual baseball fans, or it's more of just like I'm going to celebrate when my team wins. It's by no means in the last, I don't even know the last time. Probably back to like 2006 was I like, this team is good and will be a contender. Every time it was like anything can happen. Because even in 2015, it wasn't until the deadline that things took off. So to be this confident this early, it is different. And I know they're not going to understand that. And they're not going to take the time to listen to this. And they're just going to say, you guys do this every year. But just know that it is different for a bunch of different reasons. And if you've been watching as long as we have, Clem, this feels a lot better than it usually does.
Like you said, it's like the other years, it was like when you're eating carbs and you're feeling good, knowing you're about to crash. This is a fucking 5-course gourmet meal from Uncle Stevie himself. He's delivered it to us, and we and it's like we've said it every fucking episode. I feel just having someone like Buck, I just see him like everything's gonna be okay, because we were basically kids without parents for like years and years. We got like an A+ stat. We got Danny Tanner, who just dropped out of the sky from Alabama. So it's like we are fucking blessed to have this. So I think it's real. I was gonna go back. I went back the last 5 years and just screenshot of the standings right around now. And like we are like 12-7, like we are not this, but it's like this is different in terms of the record and in terms of just like the numbers and the eye test, where it's just like
but you know what? Also,
we were saying the same thing.
There's a different. You can be like 12-5, 12-6, 12-7 in very different ways.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like if you look at the Yankees, like early on, struggling, bad outings, getting swept or whatever by the Orioles, and for a week of the first 3 weeks of the season, you're down and you're talking shit and you're hating your team. Whereas we just like steadily won every series, and it's just still so early to look at the record, because if you extrapolate 12-5 versus 12-9 over the months and months of the season, it will end up being a very different record.
Mhm.
And I think the way they've gone about it is the difference here, is that you see the clutch hitting, you see the athletic play. You know that they're forcing the other team to make bad plays and make mistakes. The bullpen's been the thing that's been up and down. Everything else has been
consistent.
Yeah.
Well, think about it like this: the Giants have the second best record in the NL. They're 13-6. 3 of those 6 losses to us. So
yeah, right. Yeah,
they
that's
didn't go toe to toe with the best.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, at this point, to beat the Giants and the Cardinals and the Phillies, we have just as many good teams, series wins, as bad teams. So there's no way to knock it at this point. Now, what I am waiting for, it's kind of like the old, Mike Tyson, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, or all those sports euphemisms. We're gonna hit a patch, like what if we get swept by the Phillies this weekend? What happens when we lose 2 out of 3? 2 series in a row, and it's a bad, 8 or 9 days in a row. That's going to be the real test, because
Then it's going to be a matter if you could turn it on and say, like, okay, can we win 7 of 8? Can we actually sweep a team? That's what it's going to come down to.
And as fans, it's like, it's so quickly I've forgotten, how to lose, because I'm like, we've been winning for like a full month, and I've grown to expect these things, watching every night and talking about it every day. And so, like that game yesterday, I truly, really in my gut expected a win. And I was like, wait a minute, we lost. What is this about? So, we're gonna have to learn how to cope again, because bad times are coming. It's, baseball is too long of a season. And I hate to like harp on it, but like, do we think that there's anything on the horizon, this weekend or, in the immediate future to worry about?
Well, we have 7 games coming up versus the Braves and Phillies, and you'd like to go, say, 4-3 in those games. I think that's the bar. So those are series you don't want to lose. Division series always mean more, whether it's annoying fans or in the standings. Those games always mean more. That you'd like to go 4-3, 5-2. Anything less, it's kind of bad.
And what scares me is we know the Braves haven't won a series all year.
Yep.
And are like
they just got Acuna back too. So
Acuna back a week early, by the way.
I know, and that's like, so now you have them on the horizon when they're due for a win. They're due with their boy. We're due for a loss.
And we have a doubleheader next week first, then, because of the stupid lockout makeup. So
if we have a day next week, we lose 2 games in a day to the Braves. Like, I hate to even put that out there, but I'm the type of guy who likes to prepare for the worst. Like, that's coming, and I just don't want everyone to turn into Frank Fleming, right? Wardy, what do you think of Frank Fleming?
I met Frank last year at a game. Very docile, nice gentleman. But
docile is funny. It's funny because he is, he's docile, and then he's like rabid. He's like a like a superhero at night. Like he becomes a fucking. It's like a wolf at night. It's crazy.
Yeah, I've been following Frank for a while actually. You know, I'm obsessed with soda reviews. I mean, there's nothing better. I'm sorry. Just when he pulls out the straw, I know it's gonna be a good day. But in regards to Frank and everything as a whole, you know, like I'm really close with his podcast co-host Pat Ragazzo. He's been on my channel a lot. You know, writer for the Mets. And you know, I've asked numerous times, like, is any of this bullshit like with Frank? And it's not. It is genuine. But there were times where I was wondering truly, because there's just so many instances. I'm like, Mets can easily win 10-0, and you're like over here saying, shut the fuck up, Frank, because he's still trying to find a way to bitch. Like when you guys went to the home opener and you saw what he's doing. I mean, I get it. That's part of his shtick, but that actually is his personality. So I don't agree with him always. You know, I don't
agree with him ever. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, he's hilarious though. I mean, how can you not just enjoy him?
There is something, you know, what I can't stand him. Fuck you, Frank. Frank was wrong. But you know, in this game, whether it's watching sports or doing your content, there's a lot of phonies, a lot of frauds, or a lot of like, not, I don't want to say that's kind of harsh, but there's a lot of people who trump it up and exaggerate. And you know, with Frank, it is real. I don't understand how it can be real because, you know, you can watch this team and know that they're better than what you're treating them like, Frank, but he can't seem to shake it. He's just got to get that. If you got hate in your heart, you got to let it out. So what I don't like, and I know how this goes because I've been doing this long enough, sometimes you end up fighting your own fan base. And like if you're down on the team and they're not, and you're arguing online, and then your team loses, there's a small piece of you that rather than being upset, there's a small piece of you that's like, I told you so. And that's where you start to get into that ugly territory where it's like, are you happy that your team just lost because you can shove it in the face of pure internet strangers, you know? So you got to avoid that, because that's when you play a dangerous game where like your own pride on the internet is coming before, you know, the team winning. And Frank can get you in those spots where, because so many people follow him and so many people, you know, play into it. So when we do hit a rough patch, don't become a Frank. Stay a Clem. Don't be a Frank, be a Clem.
Here's something that should be noted when looking at the season, right? Because it's so long. If we've learned anything from the Braves and the Nationals over the past couple of years, is that truly anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the Nats, think about them. That first half, they were dog shit. And of course, it took, you know, getting 7 runs off of Diaz. Thank you, Kurt Suzuki, to go on their run and beat.
We don't talk about that here.
I know. I'm aware. I'll leave it at that. But point is that really helped propel them riding hot into playoffs. Braves, same exact story. A lot of people underestimated their acquisitions. Like they got Jock Pearson before the trade deadline, and then when they got those other pieces, it really started to formulate and come together. So it really is all just about momentum at the end of the day. If you can get into playoffs, that is great. Of course, obviously, if you win the division, that's even better. But point is that, you know, we have the star-studded Dodgers over here. They've been star-studded the past decade. That doesn't guarantee you anything. So, you know, I would say for Mets fans, I know it can be very easy to be cautiously optimistic, and you should be. But when they go through the rough patches, just know that how long of a season that this is. Like anything can truly happen. And I view that this team under this, you know, with Buck and with this front office, they do have a different vibe to them because it's the context. How are you winning games? How are you losing games? Yesterday was the first game this season that I can honestly say that game the Mets had pretty much like every right to lose. Even with everything going wrong, that was their worst game this season by far. But that's good because you can make the argument with the other losses they had, you know, that the Mets really are a better team than what those performances were because of the bullpen implosions or just a little lack of offense. Like, I'm very happy with this team because even with them not all clicking right now, not everyone in the lineup is doing great at the moment, and the pitching is finally getting worked, but they're doing things on a historic pace that we haven't seen before. And this is without, again, the best pitcher in baseball. And I know that, again, we'll see. Hopefully he's back for the second half. But once everyone's in a full swing, and the fact that they haven't yet and they're already to this success, that has to mean something.
I do want to say, too, part of the reason why that 12-5 feels better than it is because of those like first 3 losses where it really could have been wins with a matter of like 1 inning. So, you know, when we were joking, this team should be 7-0. Like that was part of the reason why it feels like we were, you know, that much better because for 90% of those games, those innings, we were winning and we were leading. And so, yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you just said there. That is, I mean, we saw better than anybody. we know better than anybody. We went from our famous 4 games up to 4 games down in like 8 days. Remember that? I mean, it was like whoosh, it is gone. It's a very strange sport where, you know, certain times of the year, certain teams and certain divisions, you can look at like an 8-game lead and be like, oh, you know, that division's pretty much over. Like, you know, they're going to run away with it in the Central. A division like the NL East, a division like the AL East. That's why I never like count the Yankees out, because it's like, you know, you can be down by 7 games to the Red Sox in April, and it's going to be a dogfight in September. And same thing with the NL East. We haven't necessarily been a part of it too often, but like hopefully this will be the year where we are. So, you know, it's wins count in April, and they're going to be important all the way through. So now is the time where I think now's the time where we all like acknowledge we're big boys. We're in the contender side of things, not the pretender side. And now it's time to like go about our business, and times will get hard and times will, you know, it's not going to always be like this, but know that like water will find its level, and we should be there, you know, down the stretch. So like, let's do it now, you know.
The one thing I'd really fall back on with the clubhouse too, it's like the veteran leadership in this clubhouse this year is going to nip that right in the bud if we get into a losing streak. It's not going to be last year with J.D. Davis and Dom Smith in front of the microphone going, well, we lost, but we're still 3.5 games up, you know, like that's like when you're watching a game and you're betting against your own team so that you're happy either way. Yeah. That's what it felt like. And we were just biding our time the whole thing. And like now you have Scherzer, there's no way. 2 games in, he's going to be like, you guys better get your shit together. Like he was ready to choke somebody out for not scoring him any runs that one game, let alone an entire series. That's the guy who's going to be chirping everybody that they need to get their shit together. And in the past, we haven't had that. Everybody's been so mild-mannered. Let's be friends with everybody. You need that one person that's going to shake things up. And like, you can really make the argument the Mets haven't had that
ever.
Maybe ever. Yeah, I mean, it's always
even,
Mr. Nice guy.
Even like you know, first of all, he'll do it off the field and on the field. I feel like, you know, we're facing a losing streak, and Scherzer's going to put an end to that. But you look at like 2015, you know, Wright was like there, but, you know, aging and he couldn't really lead that team. And then you had guys like Harvey and Noah who were kind of like outward assholes, and we didn't like them. And then even 2006 was like, you know, Beltran was a quiet type of guy. Wright and Reyes were too young. Cliff Floyd was probably like the biggest veteran presence, but he wasn't the most talented out of that bunch. He was still great. So like, yeah, there hasn't been like a captain presence, and now we finally got. And even Jake is like awesome, but he's not that guy. So now that we have that, you hope that that's the difference between, you know, like I don't think you have collapses, the dreaded C word, when you have guys like that.
And look, Wardy mentioned the Braves getting hot last year to deadline their trade acquisitions. So like those guys, they weren't that good. They just got hot for 2 months. Like I looked at what those guys were doing outside of Jock, who's always been a good player. Adam Duvall, that guy's batting under 200. Jorge Soler, batting under 200 in Miami. Ed Rosario was so bad they found out he was blind. He has eye surgery. He's out 3 months. So it just shows you that how crazy baseball is. If those guys got hot and carried them to a World Series.
Those guys were like, you know, setting records in the postseason, right? They were,
and none of them are good players.
And now, none of them are good. It's just about timing. That's why being a GM, I think out of all the sports, like, you know, building a football team is probably like the craziest thing you got to do with just so many people in so many positions. But being a GM in baseball, you got to have like the Midas touch. You got to have the you know, we're going to get hot with this guy at the right time, and you never need to see him again. You see him in those 2 months. And so like all you got to do is hope that you're in the position come the deadline for your guy to make that move. And then you got to hope that Epler and company make the right call. And it's I mean, that's oversimplifying it by a billion, but that's baseball, Susan. It's just how it goes. It's no other way to do it.
Speaking of these deadline moves, this tweet I just happened to see in the corner of my eye popped up. Pete Core Armstrong off to a 360 start, 475, 580. Oh.
Well,
listen.
But that's what I'm saying.
We're not talking about fucking the
guy in Seattle. We don't want to talk about our former prospects. They're gone,
man. Come on.
But it's like it just goes to show, like, and again, I think we were all in favor of the deal. If we had a better team around Javi Baez, who was better than Cespedes during that 2015, we're all fucking maybe the Mets have a ring right now, but it was not the case.
Right. Imagine if it was this Mets team and then you acquire Baez.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That's a good way of looking at it.
And that's what, like, that's hopefully going to happen. Like, we're going to make moves. We're going to be a contender enough to add at the deadline rather than sell. And so, like, and you know that Uncle Stevie's going to open the wallet. So, like, who knows what we get this year? And what if you do get a Cespedes, do get a Baez, like this team already being as good as it is, we could get real cocky then.
There could be a player at the deadline that's available that you would not even think of in 3 months.
Right,
so.
right. All right, we're going to wrap up here. We always do, we have a new feature, Wardy, called the Blue Mountain Boys. So people over at Coors are kind enough to keep the lights on over here. And you only drink your Coors when those mountains are icy blue. And right now we're ranking bullpen pitchers, whether they are a Blue Mountain pitcher or an ice cold beer or, a skunk warm beer. Right now we're all kind of in agreement that Drew Smith is kind of the only icy Blue Mountains. But do you have anybody else in the pen that you would put in the Blue Mountain range, Wardy?
Okay. Drew Smith, 100%. There's 3 other guys that I think are deserving of being in that. I think Chase and Shreve won. I think he's criminally underrated. He's had a great start. I know he just gave up like a sack fly like two games ago, but who cares? That's not a big deal. Other than that, I think Adam Ottavino has actually been pretty damn good. I haven't loved him every single outing. And the biggest thing with him is his control, but as long as he's locked in, he's very similar to Diaz in the sense of he has some of the nasty stuff in baseball among relievers. You just need to make sure that he doesn't find himself getting a little erratic, and then before you know, you have the bases juiced with no outs because of walks. So I think Ottavino's had a very solid start. And one more, and I know that you guys might critique me for this one.
Don't you say it.
I'm probably going to go with Edwin Diaz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me something positive about Sean Foley Reed, and I was going to be like,
no.
Get out of here.
Granted, he did have those 2 clean innings against the Giants, which was huge. I thought that was wrong. But yeah, no, Estref is. I'm curious what's going to actually happen with him because I know that the Mets have to shorten the roster soon, but he doesn't have any more minors options, so he could be picked up. I don't know if that means much to you, but I know that means something in the Mets. But yeah, Diaz is my final guy that I would have, in the good category. Yeah. I thought he's looked really well, especially in non-save situations. He's impressed me.
Yeah, which was always his bugaboo. And I mean, you know what's funny? Non-save situations last year meant something so different than this year. Because we said it last week, I hope we're in non-save situations all the time. I hope you got to take them out when there's a 5-run lead every single time, Edwin. And I think mentally, knowing that there's going to be much more of those because we're going to score runs, it might have made some sort of difference for him because it does seem like he's a different guy coming in with the 4-run lead or whatever it may be. So, I'm with you on that. I was I used to thump the drum of Diaz has got to go back in 2019 or whatever it was. And now there's no denying that, at least as far as closers and relievers go, he's one of the, at least the best out there. Anybody got a Blue Mountain Boy? It doesn't have to be in the pen. Let's extend it to the whole team. Anybody who you want to give a Blue Mountain to right now, either in the rotation or the starting lineup?
I think Eduardo Escobar is a Blue Mountain Boy.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's been like a real, a solid. That whole trio. I can't say enough things about.
They've all done what it's supposed to do.
Escobar, Canna, Marte. I think Marte's obviously a more expensive player.
Yeah.
But those 3 guys just being real baseball players instead of plugged to different positions that they don't play, whatever.
I'm going to throw me. I just point out where which is so what it used to be last season. I was we're gonna get there, and he always gets there. So Jeff McGill again, which is a great feeling.
Got dicey for a minute, yeah.
All right, it was kind of.
Yo, speaking of our $341 million shortstop, he's he was obviously super hot, and then kind of hit a little snide there, and seeing that RBI hit yesterday, it was made me feel good about it. It was all right, this isn't going to be a fluke. He's going to even when he starts to dip, he'll work his way out of it. So expecting big things from him all year.
And defensively, he's making those diving plays. He wasn't throwing them out, but I was like, oh my god, he was getting frustrated because he's like, I'm still making the play. It just happens to be a quick runner.
And even during that mini slump for Lindor, a lot of them are hard out. So he allowed fly balls to the track.
That's nothing going out in that Cardinals series at all.
That's a huge difference because there's plenty of guys where you watching their bats get blown out of their hand, and you're like, this guy is just so wrong. He looks like he's fine. You just got to find the holes.
He's put a lot of barrels on balls. A lot of good baseball. baseball. All right. I think that's really it, right? We know what we got to do. We got Philly next. I'm just a big fan of series wins, and I think that the best way to do that, obviously this is like a Magic Johnson thing here, but winning the first game of a series is like, it changes everything for me. My whole weekend will be determined by Friday night, pretty much. So like, just keep winning series is the name of the game. And now it's time to really put it on and do it in the NL East. So big shout out to Wardy. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you. I'm sorry for the technical issues.
No,
the one day that's happened.
I am for real thoroughly impressed. I didn't know you were 21. You are well ahead of the game, dude. So
thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it was a blast coming on.
So everyone go follow him. It's WardyNYM. Is there any underscore or anything? Just WardyNYM.
Nope. Just
WardyNYM. You can follow him and subscribe on YouTube for all the pregame, postgame type stuff. Same thing we do here at We Gotta Believe. So spread the love, watch everybody, subscribe to everybody, follow everybody, and you gotta believe.
Gotta believe.
Gotta believe.